everybody. It's that time of the week again, bitch. It's actually a brand new year in this motherfucker. So, Happy New Year, kids, and welcome to another edition of Old School New School Comedy Podcast. And I am your trash-talking host, Christy Miller. And with me this week is somebody I actually just met. He's very funny. I did a show with him at the Stress Factory in New Jersey with Barry Ribs, who was on the show a few weeks back. And I really like this guy. He's also one of the creators of AC Jokes in Atlantic City. So I want y'all to give it up for Matt Bridgestone.
That's my intro.
Yep.
Hell yeah, good. Solid.
Right?
I knew it. I knew you'd nail it. They don't realize, like, we've probably conversed for 20 minutes in our entire lives.
Exactly.
But the thing real comedians know is that that's all it takes sometimes to just feel like you know somebody. You know, we know a lot of the same people, been through a lot of the same bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's like a really fucked up industry. And when you find like people,
with it. You are bitter. I love it. You
exactly.
Right
I am a dark cup of coffee. No, but let me finish. Let me finish, darling. No, because it's such a fucked up industry. When we find other people in it that are going through all the crazy ups and downs, it's like an automatic bonding, especially coming from the Comedy Store where I grew up back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Like, it's like we even look at each other amongst the clubs in LA. We're like, oh, you're a store comic? Automatic bond, 20,000 years. We feel like you've known each other.
It is. It's any industry where there's more supply than demand. You're gonna have you're gonna have your dirty underbelly. You know, as good as any of us are. You know, we do something wrong, they sweep us out the back door and bring in the starling with the stars in their eyes, you know?
Yeah, but the next one that'll do their dirty work for them.
No, I think I was immediately attracted to your bitter, angry side. I was just like, I could get with this. This is my people's right here.
That's right. Exactly. It's like when I met you, I'm like, oh, he's one of us. Yeah, he's one to come on into the tribe, honey. You're part of our tribe.
I didn't know it because I like to think of myself as a positive person, but then you just started lumping me in with you in your conversation, and you were like Barry was sitting there, and like, you know, Carucci was another, you know, grizzled vet, and you're like, yeah, you know, they're grizzled, angry veterans like us, and I was like, I'm in the club, man. I made the Grizzled Club.
It's an honor. It's a badge of honor.
It's an honor. Yes.
So how long have you been doing stand-up, honey?
I started doing comedy in 1998. 25 years.
God bless.
Yeah,
God bless.
I thought I would have made it by now, but
we all did.
I took a very different path than, like, you went to the Comedy Store. At least you had, like, you know, there was a little bit of a blueprint. I more just was like, I hated fighting for like stage time. I didn't want to do 5 minutes, so I was like, I gotta just try putting my own shit together. And so that kept me out of like really going the club route. I always like, you know, putting my own stuff together, this, that, and sort of took the road less traveled. But now it's led to, you know, I got shows every day in 2 spots in Atlantic City, and you know, I just never really went the industry way. But shit, I pay my bills doing comedy. I'm not complaining. That's a win in this game, you know. If you're in the 1%, if that's, you could live off of it, you know.
Dude, listen, there is no conventional way anymore. That's gone. Yeah, with the launching of the internet and with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook over the years, you know, you and I, we didn't grow up with this stuff, so we had to take the industry route or find clubs, and you took matters into your own hands, and you're thinking, oh, I'm losing the battle because I'm not at the clubs fighting for stupid 5-minute spots that really aren't going to get me anywhere. I'm going to create my own lane. You're winning the war, bro.
I mean, the only other way to do it is to give Al Martin rides everywhere, you know, and then you could get past. But
who has a car big enough? Nothing.
I was so mad the other day. Someone was like, you know, you kind of like remind me like you're turning into Al Martin. I was like, Damn it. No, I like Al. He's a good dude.
No, I love Al. I like breaking his balls. Al's a good friend. I love him. Yeah,
Nice,
Al's one of the funniest. He's so Al. You know.
That's the best way to put it.
I know.
That's
He's
the
just
best way to
he's
put it.
so Al. I love him. I wouldn't change anything about Al Martin because it makes him who he is, and that's the beauty of it. But
maybe his I was gonna say his underwear. We can move on. We can move on.
Hello.
do you have a dump button on this podcast?
Oh yeah, I'll put rim shots in. Don't worry.
Look at these pink heads. I mean, the funniest part is you're filthy, and I love it. I told you I played your stuff. I told my friend this girl to check you out. She was like, I love her, but I put it on with my daughter, and I'm like, we had to shut it off. I was like, oh my god. But then later.
You know what's so funny is I don't give a shit how old or how young children are. There was a gig I did coming out of COVID in like 2021. Me and Mark Riccadonna co-headlined, and it was a Christine Berg room in Forest Hill. She booked us. So we split it. We each did half hour. Mark was closing. I went on first. And the owner of the venue had all his friends there and their families, and it's nice and it's packed. I let these little kids have it. I destroyed, and I almost got a standing O from that family. I got hugs. The owner's like, please come back and headline. Oh my God, you're so funny. I was roasting these kids. I don't give a shit. I'm like, anything I say, you're not going to find anything softer on the internet. These kids are smart now. They got access. They're smart.
That's true. My daughter's been saying fruck. She throws the R in just to kind of get away with it. I'm like, what do you do? That's too close, you know? But don't
She's
say
smart.
She's smart. I'm like, stop saying. She's like, it's one letter away from a bad word. I'm like, don't do that either. But then I was coaching her baseball team, and I was trying to teach the kid about bunts, and I'm like, that's one letter away from a bad word also. All right. Anyway.
Oh, you fucking bunt.
I had a point. Yeah, you fucking bunt. Oh no, what I was thinking, I was like,
that's the name of the team. That's the name of the kids' softball team. The fucking bunts.
I was like, I said to people, I'm like, you know, I was listening to Andrew Dice Clay when I was like 9, 10 years old, and I was like. And I turned out, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm a fucking mess. Like, I didn't turn out okay. Like,
I know.
I might have
listened to Richard Pryor albums and,
I
all
stand
this.
by that. Like, well, you know, I can handle it as a kid. No, I got problems right now. And I don't know if it's like, it might be Dice's fault, you know?
Probably.
I've had relationship issues. You don't think that has anything to do with being 9 years old? Hearing like, if you're fucking up from behind, then come on and face it. Yeah, like it totally fucked me up. It totally fucked me up.
Hold on, we're gonna pause for 1 second because I don't pay for Zoom and
we gotta reconnect.
So tell me I have like only a few minutes or I have to pay. So I'm gonna reconnect and then we'll have 40 and then we'll be good.
So Jewish, I love it.
I know. Well, I'm not home. Why should I pay for shit? And I'm Irish Catholic and I'm very Jewy. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna send you a new link. So, a lot's been going on in comedy this week.
I gotta say this before you get into anything else. My respect level for you just went through the roof, because what the audience might not realize is we just had to take a forced break because you didn't want to pay for the Zoom. I'm like, this is my girl right here. Like, mad respect. So we just had to sit here for 7 minutes, like staring at the wall.
Who pays for Zoom anymore? Fuck off.
Seriously, it's like paying for porn. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Pornhub. Hello. But it's like, for those of you who don't know, like right now in New York City, there's a big storm and it's no fun outside. It's nothing deadly or brutal, but upstate's getting all the good snow because, you know, it's white and that's all they like up there. So, but it was messy. It was too messy for Matt to come in from Atlantic City. And so we're doing this virtually, but we'll get it in the studio again. I'm going to go down to his club, or we're going to do like a live broadcast from there and do some fun stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, Matt, in this week in comedy, that's been, the internet it's been a week, man. Katt Williams has broken the internet Oh my
Yeah.
God. Did you watch the interview?
I mean, my internet always seems to be broken, but this I saw about a solid, like, I think it's 2.5 hour interview. I definitely saw at least half of it. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, though.
Yeah.
But
I've
I'm
watched
looking
about 45 to an
Yeah.
hour of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Katt is interesting bird because you have something that he has and not a lot of people have it. It's called like having the mouth. You could just, some people just get away with shit that other people can't, you know?
Yeah.
If another comedian like if Cedric the Entertainer tried to give this kind of interview, his career would be over.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Katt Williams is like, yo, I want to go get tickets right now to go see him. He's just got the gift of gab, man. He really does. He's so easy to listen to, and I don't even care if what he's saying is true. Yeah.
So you don't care? It froze for a second. You don't care if anything he says is true or false? Is that what you said?
I mean, usually I care about that, but if he's so fucking entertaining, it just doesn't even matter. I'm just like.
Yeah. I mean, well, see, that's the thing with Katt and like Dave Chappelle. They're not owned by any productions or movie studios or networks the way the rest of them are. They depend on that network money and that studio money. They have their own, like they were able to pull themselves out and fight and keep their own money and have full control. So they're free to say anything. They don't have any consequences the way Cedric has, or Steve Harvey, or any of these guys that depend on that TV money.
See, that's the good part about being me. I don't have the same. I can't lose the contract. I don't have it, so I'm not worried about it. I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I mean, it might, when I get a big break and they go back and they're like, that shit you said on Christy's podcast will not let you be on our show. I'm gonna, maybe I'll kick myself then, but until then, I'm not crazy about Chinese people. No, I'm kidding. I'm not trying to get Shane Gillis.
Poor Shane. And that one pissed me off because they totally took out of context what he said and made it something it wasn't. And I'm just like laughing. I go, that's how shady the internet is. And that's why I thought Shane was a setup. Because if you would have listened to the whole thing, he was making fun of people that do that shit. And they think it's hacky and bullshit that comics do the cheap shot and do that. But he took the wrath for it.
A similar thing happened with Roseanne. She was being like mad sarcastic about saying like the Holocaust wasn't real and shit. But she was just making a bigger statement about how like the industry is full of shit. And people did not understand the tongue-in-cheek nature of it. And they were like, Roseanne's losing it again. And blah, blah. It was like the most on-point thing I've ever seen her do. And they were just like, she's nuts. It's like, no, you don't understand comedy. That's what's going on right now.
Well, she did go crazy. And then she does one thing. Because I've been in her presence a few times.
Sure. You seem like you have.
And she's a really cool lady. She's just right now, she's lost it. Like some people couldn't handle COVID. And some people's narcissism went to a whole new level. So, and they went crazy.
People knew Roseanne was walking a fine line,
when she went nuts, and now I understood because I can't. She's too fucking crazy for me. Even back then she was alive. So, see, when she did the thing about the Holocaust, I was like, I understand the joke she's trying to pull, but she's dug herself such a deep hole. No one's gonna see what she's doing.
They can't hear it.
It's too late.
It's
too late now, and it's like. I knew she was mocking Hollywood and mocking people. I knew, of course, it's not real. Like everybody's so full of shit. And I knew what she was doing, but she's so far in the hole and keeps digging herself in the hole that she couldn't get. Like that was the one thing. If she would have said that before all that shit happened, they would have like, oh, that's hilarious. She's calling out people, and
right.
But it's too late for her in that sense because no one's going to listen anymore. And it's sad because she was brilliant back then, but she got in her own way, and some people just can't handle when they're not relevant anymore, that they demand to be relevant because they don't. It's a hard fall, and she didn't fall, but it's a hard fall to go from being the most beloved TV character on national television, the most beloved white trash mom in the world, and everybody loved her. Like, she broke barriers back then. And then to go to where your phone doesn't ring anymore, nobody's trying to get to you, nobody's offering you shit. So then it really fucks your head up. That's where a lot of people go crazy, because they're so used to being here, and then when they're down here, they go nuts. I've watched it. I've watched friends be on the top, and I've watched them fall, and it's sad.
I'm glad I didn't like hit it big, like at a, you know, I'm doing good now, but like if I would have blown up at like 23, it would have been a mess.
Yeah, I would have been a disaster. I wasn't ready for it then. Now, I'm 53 now. I'm ready. I'm good. I've done all the work on myself. Now it's just the foundation's laid, the house is built, the roof's on. Now let's decorate this bitch. Let's pimp it out. You know what I mean? So, like, even with my album, Brutally Yours on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you stream your downloads. That's my shameless plug. Whatchamacallit, it was, you know, I did it unconventionally because I had nothing to lose, because I don't have anything. So I did it in one take in a club, and I wanted that nightclub rawness, because each show of mine ends up being different. Even though the material is all generally the same,
sure,
it's a different vibe because of the way I incorporate the room into it, and whatever's happening in the room at that moment, I'm in it. So
yeah, you work without a net, you know?
Yes. I'm like, yeah. And so I just did it in one take. I said, if it's great, it's going to be great. And if I bomb, so be it. This is it. So I did it all in one take. I did an hour and a half that night. We cut it to an hour and 5, like trimmed the fat, but it was a monster night. But it has that nightclub rawness that I wanted, you know, and that was what yeah. So you know, is it a big hit? No, because the record label kind of dropped the ball on it. But, you know, because I'm not Chappelle. I'm not Katt Williams. You know, I'm not someone that's gonna, you know, that is gonna grease their pockets in 1 second. It's, you know.
Well, the good thing these days, you know, you can really still get it out there, and you know, people can find it, and you know, you hope that people share it.
Yeah,
it's kind of cream rises to the top and all that. But
you know, I laughed. Oh, thank you. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I wish. Do you have this? Do you wish your friends shared your clips as much as they share other bullshit with you when it comes to stand up? I think it's hilarious. I can't help my friends like that are not comedians will send me all these clips of comics. And I'm like, I hope you really share my shit too, because we're supposed to be good friends. Like, I laugh. It makes me laugh, and it's just the stupid shit I think of. It's so dumb. Why would I even say that?
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm figuring out that whole game is not really my wheelhouse, you know. But to me, I'm like, I'm excited. I filmed a pilot about everything that we're doing down here in AC, and I got some really good people behind it, and we're gonna go to pitch and all that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I always picture. I'm like, I'm just trying to stay true to who I am. Like, not that I, you know, shouldn't be doing more of the online shit, this and that, but like, people made it before TikTok. Like, there's other ways to do this. Yeah. Like, so listen, I'm just going with what I know.
Yeah, you're doing all the right things, homie. You're creating your own lane and navigating it well. It's not always the conventional, put 18 clips on TikTok and you're going to go viral. Doesn't always work. Yeah. You know, I hate TikTok. TikTok hates me. So I have better luck with Instagram and Facebook, which is hilarious. And maybe it's my age. Maybe it's whatever. Who knows? But
I don't think either one of us does good with like rules, you know?
No,
it's like you have to do it this way. Is it, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm doing it my way. I did it my way.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly.
But you're doing all the right things, because in the end, you're gonna win the war because you created something. You created a foundation, because all that TikTok shit is a fly by night. You ever notice things that go viral? They're disappeared. You forget about them 3-4 days later. you don't even remember.
Well, I mean, you're just hoping that it leads to, people checking out more of your shit and this and that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just doing it the only way I know how.
Yeah, and that's the only way you can do it.
I mean, you can learn more. You can talk to people. This is a big misconception. People say comedians are lazy a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too many comics that I can really say. Good timing on that.
Right.
A lot of people say comics don't know what they're doing with the technology. Whoa.
Or they do that
I
when
think
you're a
they're
certain
just-
age, you're like this in the camera. Can you hear me?
Fair enough. But I think they're just like misguided. Like they don't have, they'll do what they gotta do, but they just don't know what to do. They know what to do on stage, but off stage is a whole different ballgame. Like there's people that are so much funnier than so much of the stuff you see out there, but they just don't know how to get it out there. You were at the comedy store, you probably saw people that would blow away some of the top stars in comedy, but they just can't like send a fucking email,
Yeah, it's like I always told people, like even in the past, I was so focused on writing and performing and perfecting my craft and crushing it on stage. And I was at the comedy store every night, punching it out, banging it out, working, hustling, in that sense of creating a good product, that I lack the marketing skills or the kiss-assy social skills, the schmoozing stuff. I don't have that. I'm just, and I was raised under Paul Mooney. He's why I moved to New York, and I opened for him for many years. So
I got to meet him once at the end there. I got to meet him once. Yeah, that was cool. Cool. Now, when you say banging it out, there's a lot of ways to make it in comedy. I've heard some stories about the store.
And all those stories are true.
What's the real shame of? Here's the shame of my career is I put on great shows. I mean, I put on shows with like some top names, a couple hundred people in the crowd, and I just haven't had enough people like throw themselves at me for stage time. Someone like me, you would think like I would just be getting propositioned all the time, but not so much. I think it's like, because I think if I put on dive bar shows, that's when you get that. That's when you get like, hey, maybe I get 5 minutes on your dingy bar show. But when you're actually putting real stuff together, people take it too serious.
They take it serious, and they also take it as an intimidation factor. And they also think, 8 million people are bombarding this guy. And then you see some dipshit comic that's terrible getting on these shows. I'm like, wait a minute. What am I doing wrong? What are they doing that they're getting the time? Because squeaky wheel gets the grease.
It's funny you say that, because I've had people tell me, I mean, guys and girls, that, coming down meeting me, it's like intimidating. And I'm like, what? Like, to me, I know who I am. So I'm just like mad. I'm just chill. Like, but, I forget, like, I have like shows in casinos, and there's like 100, 200 people there. Like, that means so much to these comics, and it means a lot to me too, but it's my shit. So I'm like used to it, but they look at it like this is a big opportunity, and like, I don't want to fuck it up and this and that. And my attitude is just like, hey, let's come down, chill, have some fun, see how it goes. But that's not where their head's at all. And I've learned to appreciate, the role that I'm fortunate to be in.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, I always laugh when I'm doing something or putting together something. The first people that jump, and this is going to sound so fucking shady, but the first people that jump are the lowest hanging fruit in the pack. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like they're the first ones to react or message you or hit you up. Hey, I want to do that. And it's like, and that's how I weed out the garbage. The ones who jump on it instantly, I'm like, no, you suck because you're too thirsty.
You're too eager.
You're too eager. I gotta let this marinate a little bit, because and what you'll have to be a part of I'm Donnie from Stand Up New York. He knew I wanted to do a monthly show of heavy hitters, of us old school, because all the
Of
old
us
school guys,
bitter, angry, old
yes,
school, like
road heads,
washed up, and
you know,
never was, has
yeah,
been.
our
I'm in.
road dog. Hi girls, and like,
I'm perfect.
oh my
I could
god,
totally,
I see
I
me
could
in
totally
that.
middle that show.
I could guest spot the fuck out of that.
I could guess what the fuck out of
I will check spot this bitch.
that.
Okay,
Oh, that's
James
a brutal.
Mattern.
The check spot on that show is just. I mean,
hilarious.
I'd give that to maybe like Reverend Bob Levy, who I love.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's the perfect grizzled.
Oh yeah. But I want to do a show of like heavy hitters and like get us all, because we've all been pushed out of the club scene here by these new jacks. All the clubs have fired all their bookers. The only ones that are still like doing the same bookers is the Stand and the Cellar, obviously. Every place else has purged everything and got new kids. I think they have their thumb on the pulse of the algorithm comics, and you see all these dipshits on Friday and Saturday shows going, they're like 10 minutes. They don't even have a 3-minute set. All
Christy,
right.
No, stop.
So,
don't hate the player,
finish.
hate the game.
Oh no, but this is what I'm saying. So I want to create a space where we all get us all back in a space. Like we used to hang out and then like go eat afterwards and just fucking hang and create our tribe. So Donnie at Stand Up New York called me. He's like, I heard you want to do a monthly. What's it about? I said, it's about us heavy hitters, about all the road dogs, all of us that have kind of aged out of the process, but bring us back in, have a one night, make it a pass the mic. So like everybody gets 20-minute spots, maybe 3 or 4 comics on the show. If Attell walks in and wants to work on something, if he's doing a special or whatever, put him up. Judy Gold comes in. If anybody that's an old school, like that's been in the game and is working on something, hey, I got an album, I'm doing a special, I'm doing this, come in, do 20.
Yeah.
Work
Matt
on it.
Rife walks in, he go fuck himself.
Oh, he's too new school. Goodbye. Why don't you go back to OnlyFans? This is only comics. Good night.
Oh, we're gonna have email lists and comment cards and
yeah.
We're gonna mail stuff right to people's houses. We're
not even doing that. We're gonna
start a MySpace page and everything.
Dude, I'm going door to door and we're going on AOL chat.
You are not gonna be able to walk into a beauty salon and not see one of our flyers, I'll tell you that.
Gay. But
I want to get back to what you were saying about Katt Williams, because you also brought up the Chappelle thing, and the two of them do something that's real interesting. Is just their material is not as captivating as just their pacing, like the way they say it is what sucks you in. I mean, I saw Chris Rock at Hard Rock like 4 days after the slap.
Right.
And Chris has spoken about this in some interviews, how he is like on the spectrum a little bit. He's not really like, that's why I'm wearing these sunglasses. I have a little problem. Eye contact, all that jazz. I didn't start making eye contact till I was like 35. But so I saw Chris Rock and I saw Dave Chappelle about a couple weeks separate from each other. And Chappelle will get up there and just wing it and be in the moment, making shit up, this, that. Whereas Chris Rock got up there with like an unbelievably sculpted piece of just fucking artwork that was like every word counted and everything like that. And it's like, oh, there we go.
Well sculpted there, Matt. Well sculpted.
People like, what's it's like the debate of like what's better is so tough, because it's like one is hitting you on like a visceral, human, just gut level, and one is just like blowing up your mind with the skill and the precision and all that shit. So
to me, I think they're both great because it's who they are. Nothing is better or worse. It's you have to find what your voice and what works for you. Like people like Chappelle or Katt, like me, we, we can fly by the seat of our pants. We go out there without a safety net, and that's how I write. I'll have an idea in my head of what I want to talk about, like a topic, and I'll just go on stage and just go off on it and see what happens. And then, I record it and I listen to it. I'm like, oh, that didn't work. Oh, I didn't, you know what? That made me think of this. And then I add, and that's how I build. I can't write on paper. I can write set lists, which are outlines, but I can't write jokes on paper. Like it's too detailed for me. My brain moves too fast.
Nah, I can't do that either.
Yeah,
but
so
Chappelle's like dropping specials now, like every couple of months. It's different than other stuff. I mean, it used to be like maybe every 2-3 years someone would come out with like some new shit, and it's different because it's not. You need those other styles. Like George Carlin would need 2-3 years to work it all out and get every word right and this and that. Chappelle's not really doing that. He's just kind of like chilling, hanging out and talking, so you can crank him out a little quicker. So it's a little lazier in its like technique, but he's just such a good, captivating personality. And I think what people don't realize is he did something really interesting happen with him. He put out a special. First, it was only open to critics, and they panned it like on Rotten Tomatoes. And then like a week later, it was open to the public reviewing it, and it was like they like 99% loved it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big disconnect between all this cancel shit, this, that. The truth of the matter is, I live in Atlantic City mostly, and like I see just people from all over the country.
Sure.
Nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's like mostly chill. It's just the few that like scream the loudest are the ones that like sue and make a stink, and that's what makes the news and blah blah blah. Most people just want to fucking hang out with their kids, watch a football game, go to a movie, chill, do their job, eat some good food, have some sex, and go to bed. Like, not everybody's out there like, we gotta fucking yell about, what you're doing in bed and who you're banging and politics and this and that. Like, it's crazy. Most people don't give a shit about all this cancel bullshit, this and that. But
no, they don't. And it's like people ask me, are you afraid of getting canceled for the stuff you do? No. Because I travel this country. I go into the dregs of this country, and everywhere I go, no matter what the crowd is, I can play any crowd. I play gay and trans. I have a big trans following. They love me because I just speak it and I just roast and I go in. They love that because, queens love a good bitch that can read for filth, honey. And, I played black rooms for many years. I love the black rooms. They gave me my strength and power. I came up under Mitzi Shore in the Comedy Store and the OR. I would do late nights, following the big guys, like following Rogan, following Mencia, following Dice, following Eddie Griffin. Well, no one followed Eddie Griffin. He's probably still on stage right now in the same.
RuPaul must love you. You got black and trans together. Like,
he's a old black drag queen, honey. She lives that's my that's
your audience.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm a black drag queen from Atlanta trapped in a white woman in New York's body.
I see it.
Yeah.
I wrote a trans joke this week that I'm pretty proud of. I want to share it. I said, people are like confused. They don't even know the terms, this, that. I go, a trans woman is someone who was born a man and then becomes a woman, and you might hear them say, I really feel like genuinely happy now. Whereas a biological woman is someone who'll never be happy no matter what the fuck you do for them. And the women love it.
I like that one. That's cute. I like it. Good job.
Yeah.
I love that one.
It's amazing when you just know you got one,
Yeah.
Like, that's a good feeling when,
Yeah. And
know
also,
you stumbled on one.
Yeah, and it's all like, it's all about intent behind it too. It's not about the words. It's about the intent. And they know when it comes from love. And drag queens taught me how to read for filth when I was young. Because I grew up in San Francisco. So, hi, everybody's gay, which we call, but it's like they taught me how to have a thick skin. They taught me how to not take shit personally. Like, girl, let it roll off, please. And which helped me becoming a stand-up comic and then working at the Comedy Store. You had to have a really thick skin because that was like, do or die. And that was the jazz room in all 3 clubs in Los Angeles. So, you know, we would just take jabs at each other constantly, and it was so fun.
You must have seen a lot of really talented motherfuckers that just couldn't deal with the
Yeah.
pressure cooker part. You know, they were probably
Oh, yeah.
hilarious, great, and they just didn't have the confidence to hang with, you know, people like whatever. Well, you and fucking Joey Diaz and all these ball
Uncle Joey.
busters.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's like, that's my heart. I love Uncle Joey. He's,
Yeah.
you know, I've known him since he first day he got to the Comedy Store. We're like, who is this guy? He's fucking electrifying. Mitzi was in love with him. Oh,
Yeah, he just
she
takes
loved
over.
him. You don't give a
he's got
fuck.
Yeah.
He's just so funny. But like, you know, and Chappelle too. He's a really good dude. I've known him for a long time. And
The best shit to me though is if something's genuinely hilarious. It's just, oh fuck. My ex is calling me. I can't right now. Willow!
Your mother's on the phone.
Message your mom and tell her I'm doing a podcast. You gotta be Willow. Get over here.
That is such a Brooklyn Italian thing. Hey ma!
This wouldn't have happened if we were in studio.
Nope, it would not have happened if we
Come
were
here,
actually
Willow.
in person.
You want to be on the radio? Get over here. This is my daughter. She's the cutest.
Aw,
Come here.
on,
Can you
Willow,
tell your
jump
mom?
in.
Tell your mom I'm doing a podcast and I'll be done in 2 minutes. Come here. You gotta put your face right there.
Put your face in the camera, beautiful.
Say hello. Oh, she's getting her. She's trying to be funny. She goes, ready? She gets her looks from me. Ready?
Aw. Yes. She
Looks
is
just like her mother.
all dressed up and nowhere to go.
There you go. Whoa.
Ah, it's a wrestling match, isn't it? WWE.
Nice.
I
All right, go
love
call
it.
your mom and tell her I'm podcasting over here.
I don't know what that sounds.
Oh shit! I wanted to make a point. You were talking about the store.
But so I always love to wrap up the podcast.
I
with
know. Wait, I know
two-
what. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
I just thought of what I.
Okay, say it and then we're gonna wrap.
We're gonna wrap it up. What? I'm wrapping it up. Give me a minute.
Blow dryer.
A blow dryer. All right, it's really time
Well,
to end this. She
Yeah,
needs a
it's
blow
like,
dryer.
at least she said dryer afterwards, not another
The one
word.
thing you said you might bring up is, something you see another comic do,
Yes.
and you're just like, oh man, I wish I
Yeah.
saw one the other day that was so
Okay, well,
great.
let me ask the question.
Yeah.
Let me set it up.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Get ahead of you, Mr.
All right,
Ahead
sorry.
Pants.
Sorry.
So I always end the podcast with these two questions, and one is because it's fun, because it's just fun. Is there something a comic has done that made you go, God damn it, that's brilliant? I wish I had written that.
So it's happened a bunch.
Of course.
The worst is when it happens with a comic that you know sucks, is never going anywhere, but they just like nail this one thing, and you're like, it's such a waste. It's like you throw enough shit out there, eventually something's gonna stick. You know, just these lifetime open micers that are trash, but like just have that one thing where you're just like, God damn, that's good. But the other day I saw this dude, like a chubby white guy with like a hateable mustache, and it was like a mixed kind of crowd, you know, the kind of crowd you think that if you make a wrong step you're kind of beat. And this is the beauty of a great joke, because it's just undeniable. He was talking about how, like, you know, the greatest generation in the 40s and this and that, how like the country, you know, was so great. There's like, there was a lot of racism, but you know, now everyone's like, with the woke stuff and this and that, but he's like, everyone complains that like the world is falling apart and it's not like it used to be. He's like, don't you think we should just go back to racism? Like it was working, you know? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's like, you think the LGBT community built those railroads you love to ride? No. Oh, it was so perfect.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You cannot laugh. It's just like,
no,
that
it's
is
because it's
perfection.
funny. Yeah,
it's funny.
Life is short. You gotta laugh and make fun of ourselves. And my other one is, you know, we're old heads in this game. We love a
with that. I can't with you. Every time.
I know. Well, especially with Paul Mooney, he would end his sets with street jokes, but he would Mooney-ize them. And they were, and he would destroy the place because he put the Mooney twist to it. So, do you have a go-to street joke?
I do. And but before I get there, I actually heard like 2 recently that I'd never heard that I thought were great. Because usually people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I got a joke for you," and it's garbage. You've heard them all before. They're not funny.
Yep.
Street jokes are hard to get laughs on. They're not usually funny. But the one I heard was it was why the pervert crossed the road, because he had his dick stuck in the chicken. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, see, it's like
it's so dumb, it's funny.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
And then this one I hadn't heard in years. I have heard before, but it popped back up, and I was like, oh, I remember that one. It was what's worse than ants in your pants?
What?
Uncles.
Good night.
But my personal favorite.
Yep.
And I think if I know you, which I don't, but I do, I think you're gonna like this one, unless you've heard it before. What did one tampon say to the other?
Oh, I know this one, but do it. What did the one tampon say to the other?
Nothing. They were both stuck up cunts.
Good night. Da, 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 da. And I love that. I've only known you a few minutes, but I love you. And
I'm Jewish. I don't even know it, but you're Irish Catholic.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Kiss it to God. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you and about your shows.
So AC Jokes, you can just go there, acjokes.com. I had an exciting guy we just booked this week, Tommy Davidson, man.
I love Tommy.
Yeah, he's coming through in February 4th. So I never worked with him before. I'm excited about Tommy coming through. And then I also, on Thursdays, this is amazing, I do a open mic at a go-go bar called Black Betty's in South Amboy, New Jersey, and it's fun. Like, we get pros out. Barry Ribs come through, Don Jameson, Jim Florentine. Thursday nights, it's a free show at 9 o'clock, Black Betty's in South Amboy. You got to check that out, too.
Love it. I love strip clubs. I love doing jokes. I used to do jokes in the 90s in strip clubs.
That's a lot of it. Rickles started in the strip clubs. Lenny Bruce started in the strip clubs.
Yeah, they're fun. But
there's actually a cool downstairs room that's like completely isolated, and it's just a great fun spot to work shit out.
I love it. All right, you guys. Yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Old Skool New Skool Comedy.
I'm glad I did this.
I'm glad you did too. I'm Christy Miller. You can follow the show at Old Skool New Skool Comedy, spelled with a K. And you can follow me on there as well at Christy Miller Comedy. And we will see you motherfuckers next week. Bye.